the specialist of the strange. Meets the age of darkness. Eyes in the skies will sail upon the glimmers of that sky. And ponder the insanity that comes with their adventure. Welcome to the Bald and Bonkers.
I can't get away with how good that trailer is.
Well,
And
you're
it's thanks
welcome.
to this man here. See if anybody wants any trailers made for them, this is the guy to go to.
It'll be $40 million for a trailer.
Welcome tonight, everybody. We're here for the Halloween special.
Hi, Night Sky Paranormal. Sorry.
We're joined by... That's fine. We're joined by... Tonight, everybody, we're talking about everything. We're joined by PWI, Sherry. We're joined by Nat. We're joined by Dakota himself, her lovely self with his hair transplant. We're joined down below AJ. What's that? The professor?
Yep.
And we'll have Drew's paranormal vlog. And tonight, they're all looking really witchy and strange. I think me and AJ are in that the only ones that are all dressed up. Except for me, I'm hideous all the time. Who's in?
Says good.
Look who's in the house.
He's here.
Hey, how's everybody going?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Danny White Wolf. This guy is amazing. There you go, Danny. Had to do it for you. I've not seen you for a long time.
How you doing, brother? Hello.
Hey.
So guys, tonight you can talk about anything supernatural, anything you want. Dakota, off you go.
We have quite a bit of interesting talent here tonight. I was kind of surprised that we had this many people show up. So we want to go around and do introductions real quick.
Sure.
Yes, off you go.
All right, who wants to go first? Nat, you said you're the boring one, so.
I'm the boring one? Thanks a lot. No.
Spotlight's on you.
So, I'm
Here.
not. Oh,
There you
wow.
go.
Jesus Christ. What the hell?
Come on, Nat.
Wow, that
Tell
was
us
like a
about
full
yourself.
introduction right there. Okay, so hi, I'm Nat. You probably see me with Paranormal Playground. I team up with her. She just got back from the Haunted Inn. She wanted to be here. Isn't feeling that great, but she definitely is listening. So hi, Corey.
Get better.
Get better. Love you. And I'm glad you had a good time, even though you were sick in the Haunted Inn. But wish I could hear stories about it as well. She is also an empath, a medium as well. I'm more of the clairvoyant, I guess, sensitive is what Dakota and I guess my little poll said. So yeah, and I'm here in Colorado.
There you go.
All right.
Who would like to go now?
Sherry, you want
Would
to go?
like to go?
I'm Sherry. I'm from Paranormal World Investigators, so I research in paranormal ufology and crypto. I am also a witch and a practicing shaman. So I'm here. Obviously, I know most of these guys, and I hope that you enjoy the show. And I'm a spiritualist, so I don't like to be called a medium. I do see things and feel things, but I like to be called a spiritualist because I'm open to my faith and I don't follow a coven or anything. I follow my own way. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Who next? Will we go with Drew?
Hello everybody, my name is Drew. I do get called Drew's Paranormal Vlog, but you're welcome to call me Drew or Andrina, I don't mind. I like to think myself as a paranormal investigator, a ghost hunter, whatever you like to call it. I'm also very spiritual, doing tarot readings. Also, a learning shaman. I'm trying to learn druidism. Also, history of witchcraft, a wee bit of everything. So, just a jolly mixture, really.
Who's
And I'm from
next?
Scotland.
Oh, you can't beat Scottish. There's two A's in the lobby. Yay!
Yay, Scotland.
Freedom!
Oh, we gotta fix
The Professor. That's a cool name, Professor.
Thank you.
Tell us a wee bit about yourself.
My name's Alec. I am a demonologist and a professor of parapsychology.
Oh.
I'm a paranormal author and just pretty much into anything occult, demonology, cursed items, you name it. I want to know about it.
Well, without further ado, the man himself, I feel like doing this for you, Danny, because you're one of the best people on YouTube and you're an amazing guy. Danny White Wolf, can you tell us a wee bit about yourself?
Hey, everybody, I'm me. That's it. You know, not much.
Good way to go about it.
Thanks for clearing that up.
I've been working in that paranormal almost 53 years. March 15th will be my 53rd year of actually working in the field. I found out, though, amazingly, 6 years ago, my kids said, hey, you should start a channel. And I said, why? Because you're a paranormal investigator. And I said, I'm a what now? What the hell are you talking about? So now I'm an investigator, too. So there you have it.
Well, without further ado, what would you like to discuss tonight? What strange things would you like to discuss? Want to bring up a subject? Anybody?
Dakota's here.
Dakota's here, come on.
My hair.
Where did you get that from?
From the local Walmart. Yeah.
I wish we had a Walmart. I would be in there getting some tea.
I can't think you were trying to be Johnny Depp in 50 years, maybe.
Hey, what are you, Queen? Hey, paranormal lifestyle. Oh, hey,
hey.
Scottish Outlooker.
Hey, Scottish Outlooker. How are you doing?
He's actually
Warrior Queen.
See
paranormal lifestyle. A long time.
So I'll tell you what. I'll start with you, Nat, first. What would be the first subject you want to talk about tonight, Nat?
I would probably go with some type of afterlife or ghost or anything like that.
Well,
right,
limit it down, why don't you?
So let's everybody's. What you want to talk about? You want to talk about the afterlife, right? What do you think happens when you die? I think Ashley's on this because this is a big group of people, right? We'll just go around and we'll ask everybody. Nat, what's your impressions? What do you think happens when you die?
I honestly, since I have my religion that I'm very keen on and it's ingrained in my mind, I believe that there's life everlasting.
Yes.
It's not here, but it's somewhere.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I think when you die. I've never really been scared of death throughout my entire life. So I think that's probably something. But that could just be me. I don't know.
What do you think? What do you think, Sherry? What do you think happens in the end?
Well, obviously, practicing in my witch faith and through my spirituality and that as well, I do believe in that life goes on after death as well. I believe that we go to different realms and different places depending on what we've done here on earth. I believe that spirituality here now and how we act now very much plays a part in where we go when we go over. There are most definitely spiritual beings that walk around because when we die, we do not end. Life carries on. And in my opinion, this is just a vessel. The true self and the true spirit is within us that carries on.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
That's the Professor. I feel like I'm in a James Bond movie. The Professor.
Or the
It's a bit of a screwed up James Bond with witch hats and everything going as well.
I personally would like to see that. What do I think? Personally, I believe in life after death.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I am almost certain of that fact. I like to see it's as a journey. Actually,
Yeah.
it's not a destination. I believe there are different levels which we transcend even after we've passed. It's a spiritual journey. I believe the ancient Egyptians and the 13 gates.
Mhm.
It's akin to that. My belief. I believe we can continue to progress even through the afterlife.
Mhm.
Before I jump to Drew, I'm just going to welcome Lunar Eclipse into the room. Welcome, Lunar.
No, no.
We'll get to
Hey,
you
sis.
next. We'll get
Yeah.
I can even say hi, Mary.
Who's
I-
switching
I-
out here?
That's not me.
Hi, everybody.
we'll get to you shortly, Drew. Drew, what do you think about this?
I think depending on what you believe when you're alive is what kind of molds where you go.
Yeah.
You know, I definitely think that if you don't believe you can come back to earth and things, you will not come back. Like my dad's not a believer, and I don't think he'll come back because he'll just stay what everybody else thinks of today and just cross over and stay where you are. But I do believe that you can come back and forward, and that as long as you've led a good life, I think that you could probably get the chance of reincarnation if you prove that you're kind of learning your lessons in life and things. I don't know, but I think that's what we're all kind of thriving to find out. So
Yeah.
my opinions change a lot.
Well, Danny, you're the man. What's your thoughts on
Well,
it?
you know, the quick answer is I believe you end up where you believe you're going to end up.
Really?
Right?
Right.
So whatever you believe today is where you'll be tomorrow. However, that's speaking for you guys. Speaking for me, okay?
No.
I'm going to be busier than a four-peckered billy goat. Let me tell you that. Because the thing is, I'm going to haunt the shit out of people, okay? Okay, wait. Drew, Professor, Sherry, Nat, you're okay. But the golden is, you're freaking screwed. Okay, let me
Bring it,
you're screwed.
bring it, you old fart.
I'm like, oh, good.
Uncle Danny, I will give you your own chair in my home.
You want to see something paranormal? How about this? Woo, and that'll be that. Yeah. But I'm gonna haunt the shit out of Dakota and Chris for one.
That's all right. Just bear this in mind. We'll be prepared.
You're gonna get EVPs and you're gonna go, what the hell was that? So yeah.
Oh dear. So
You will
Luna.
have your own chair in my
Oh
home,
yeah.
Uncle Danny.
Oh yeah. When I haunt them, they're gonna get EVPs from me that are gonna stand out like a turd in a punch bowl. Let me tell you.
I want to hear a lot of Dannyisms.
Danny's great. So
I'll tell you the daddyisms,
Yeah.
So Lunar Eclipse, what do you think happens in the very end when you die?
Well, I think that I kind of agree with what Danny said. It depends on what you think now is what will happen. I personally, I think that your spirit leaves your body and you live on. You go to be with your family that's passed before you, and you're there until you decide, or whoever your creator decides that it's time for you to be. I believe in reincarnation. I believe you come back. I believe there's more to it than just this lifetime. I think there's more.
Here's an interesting question for all of you, right? And then I'll hand you over to my friend Dakota here. See, you brought up a subject about the people that don't believe in life after death. This is for Danny, first of all. What do you think? Right, say you've got a guy, he does not believe in the afterlife. He downright does not believe, right? When he dies, what happens for him?
Well, one of two things will happen. It'll be either like a guy who's chased skirts all his life and then goes to Scotland, and boy, is he going to be in for a shock. Right?
Right.
There's that.
Yep, learned that the hard way.
But the other part of it is, I believe a lot of people who don't believe or whatever, they're just going to sleep. I think their spirits will go to the recharging infirmary because energy never dies. So I believe their spirits will move on and do good for other people and help other people become guardian spirits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think that's where a lot of our guardian spirits come from. It's from people who just don't believe. Right.
Yeah.
So they end up in a place and they learn how to help other people. Right. Because just because you don't believe doesn't mean your spirit doesn't believe. Right.
Right.
Now, for the person, I think mainly to them, it's going to be they're going to go to sleep and that's it. You know, they're just going to go to sleep and that's going to be the end of that. You know, but that's not written in stone or nothing. It's just what I think. You know, I think if you don't believe in anything, an atheist, well, actually, even an atheist believes in not believing in something. Therefore, they believe in something. But I digress. I think basically what happens is you just go to sleep.
Yeah. Dakota, I have an idea. Why doesn't the audience ask whoever they want a question and see if they can, whatever question they want?
You're more than welcome to.
I thank you.
More than welcome to.
All right, guys. Anybody that in this chat, pick who you want, and then ask us a question of who you want to answer. I guess.
Yeah.
Lack of better terms.
If you need help, feel free to ask anybody else. No.
There you go.
Oh, dear God.
I want to know about
you know, I was at the Olympics, when I was a wee lad, and we're at the Highland Games, you know, and this Englishman, he gets up there and he grabs the hammer to do the hammer toss, and he goes like this and he whips it. Crowd goes bloody crazy because it's a new record, right? 52 freaking meters. That's a bloody amazing, right? Everybody's freaking out and everything else. Well, then the Irishman, he gets up there, he swings it around, boom. Again, the crowd goes nuts. 62 bloody meters. This is crazy, right? So I go and they say, well, how'd you do that? You know, and they both say, oh, well, lots and lots of training hours every day. You got to try different size hammers and all that shit. That's fine. So I go up there and they give it to me and I go, 100 bloody yards, 100 meters, you know, and everybody's going retired. And they go, holy crap, how the hell did you do that? And I said, oh, that's easy. Well, how'd you train for that? I said, I didn't train for that. He says, no. He said, well, how'd you throw so far? I said, hey, my dad said, whenever anyone gives you a hammer, toss it as far as you can. Because that means they want you to work and shit, you know.
Oh, God. That's a good thing.
That's it. That's how that worked. Okay,
So
back to the station.
Wow.
So, is there any questions in the chat?
So Dakota and Chris, as you probably don't know, they're all about UFOs in particular. So if you guys want to know anything about that, their information is blowing my mind. So if you have anything.
Question for everyone, what got you into the paranormal? I was actually going to bring this up myself.
Perfect. Thank you, nice guy.
Let's watch some more stories.
Well, that's a very good question.
Perfect. Yeah, it is a good question. Thank you, nice guy. You're awesome. Okay, you go first, Chris.
Yeah, Chris, you go first.
Oh my God. All right, I'll tell you what got me into the paranormal. I can remember I grew up in a haunted house, right? And I can remember my brothers would always tell me, they would see figures moving, dark shadows moving and stuff. But I never believed them. I didn't believe them, right? I didn't believe in that stuff until one night. I was in my bed. I would be about 7 at the time, and I'm sure I seen a woman walk right through the wall and out through the next wall. And ever since then, I've always been like, there's obviously something. There's obviously something after you die, because there's everybody's like, there's no UFOs, there's no aliens, there's no ghosts, there's nothing like that, right? But there's bound to be something, because there's too many people seen too many things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And since I've opened up to all this stuff, my God, he's one of them. Things have happened, and I've got more sensitive, and now I ken I've got a ghost in my house. There's probably still, I don't know if he's there or no, I don't know if he's there. He's usually running about. His name's Robert. He's sometimes about. I can see them. When I go to a graveyard now, I can see them moving about. I know they're there.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird now because I just want to keep digging and finding out. I know obviously when I die, right, I'm going to find out everything. But hopefully that's a long way off.
Hopefully.
So I just want to find out more. I just want to know more. I just want to know, is there alien life? Are we being visited? Is there life after death? Will I get to see my grandmother again? Will I get to see my grandfather again? You know, that's it's in me. It's like an explorer type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Dakota, your turn.
Oh,
Oh
no.
man,
Got a really
this
quick
guy.
All right,
This guy's
all
got
right.
question for you,
so
Dakota.
many
Dakota, this is
abilities.
just like a really super quick question before you answer the real question. I was just wondering, how many times a week you got to water that shirt?
What?
I was just wondering how often you have to water the shirt because the flowers, Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's got so many abilities. Dakota, I don't know.
All right.
I don't even know what to put a name to it.
What got you into it?
Come on,
Well-
Dakota. What was that?
I've always been around this type of stuff. There was a point in time where I used to be skeptical of ghosts. Bigfoot, okay, yeah, maybe there's something out in the woods. Aliens, well, duh, obviously there's something out there. It wasn't really until I was about 9 years old that I started coming to a realization that, okay, this ain't normal. I was actually on a school field trip, and at the old Idaho State Penitentiary, we were walking by death row. We were at the viewing point where they would see the people hanging. All of a sudden, I see this man walk out, handcuffed, the rope being placed around his neck. Then all of a sudden, the ground dropped below him.
Oh,
This
God.
was such a real experience. I literally thought I was watching somebody being hung right in front of me.
Yeah.
I started screaming because the group started walking off. Hey, get everybody in here! Get in here! Somebody's getting hurt! Somebody's getting hurt! Second I looked back, they were gone.
Oh
I'm just
my
like,
gosh.
what just happened? And nobody believed me because I was a bit of a prankster back then. When I heard the place was haunted, I used it as an excuse to scare the girls in my class, make them scream. It was hilarious. But that was kind of my aha moment, if you will.
Nice.
Okay, there's one thing about that story that I just can't believe.
What's that?
You were a prankster. What the hell?
Maybe still a little bit.
That part of the story I'm a little iffy on with that. I was a prankster, like it's some kind of bloody confession. And what the hell has changed? That's a crock of bullshit. Everybody, don't believe that he once was a prankster. And my ass once eats sawdust and shit too much. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Oh, me?
All right. Yeah, sure. You're the one that brought it up.
You're
Well,
you're
okay.
going up.
Well, but there's a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of it started in my younger years, and then when I was in middle school and high school, I started messing around with the Ouija board again in high school. People, I am not doing that now. Let's just make that very clear. Okay, good. Anyway, so a lot of weird stuff started to happen to me. So I kind of didn't put myself into that situation. However, I've always been very in tune with anywhere I go. Any house, I could probably tell you what has happened there. Pictures, I can tell you what's in the pictures. And Night Sky Paranormal knows that because he has sent me tons of pictures before. And he has, said yes to a lot of them. So I think the main one was when I... What?
Will you go keep telling us?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The main one that I found kind of weird for me was when I was at a funeral and I was watching a guy that he was getting ready to harvest his organs, and his dad and him were walking them down to the bed, but I could see him walking with his dad.
Oh, that is weird.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which I was like, Has anybody else seen this? No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna stay quiet. So that was another one, but a lot of this stuff has been happening my entire life. So it's since I met you guys, I've been like everything has been amplifying, everything has been magnified, and I think I'm just kind of getting better at it.
Yeah, the more you do, the better you get. Just like
Yeah.
anything else, right?
Yep. Just don't want to open up any bad doors. That's all.
Oh no.
And now my lovely, beautiful, wonderful daughter who's got all the gifts in the world. What the hell got you into it, dear?
What didn't? Well, first, my first experience was when I was 5 years old. I met my protector for the first time, which was related to an incident that my mum had gone through using magic. And this protector was given to me as a protection thing and as a soul protector. Her name is Aura. Through experiencing her and seeing spirits, it kind of, at that age, you don't really understand what they are. They used to creep me out a little bit. But when I got to an age where I lost my auntie and I lost my best friend and see them in the spirit form, that made me want to go into investigating, along with the fact that I was very connected to nature. I would hear things from nature that nobody else could hear. And I would be able to see things that were going to happen before they would happen. Then I started going through experiences where spirit would go through my body and would talk through me. So I went through quite a lot of experiences going through my life. So that's what got me into the paranormal. And the reason I research and still do it today is because there's a lot of you guys out there that can't see what some of us see. And I think that it's really important to understand what happens after life ends here on Earth.
And real quick, Dakota and Chris, did you guys see that question right there by a warrior queen?
Where in the world has the most sightings of
UFOs?
UFOs? Oh, that would be. What do you think, Dakota?
Argentina.
That's true. Argentina is one of the big ones. Where I live in the U.S., Idaho, we were actually rated one of the highest spots of UFO sightings. Surprise, surprise. And I know Scotland was also ranked high up there as well.
Just going to say,
Wow.
I was just going to say there's a bit of Scotland here that's one of the most well active.
Was like,
well, sky.
Why Argentina is what Scottish Outlookers looking.
Well, that is where these ran off to.
Why UFOs go to Argentina? Well, that's really simple. They don't serve haggis there.
Haggis is not that bad.
Oh, I know, but a lot of people don't. You know.
I love it.
See, when I was a kid, you know that my nana used to tell me, "All right, Donnie, eat your haggis. Come on, let's go." And I'm going, I don't really feel like eating it today. She said, "Well, eat your haggis, don't you realize there are kids on the other side of the world that are eating bugs? They would kill for your haggis." Yeah. Little did I know that in Africa, there were mothers saying, "Eat your bugs, some poor bastards eating haggis in Scotland." So
you can't beat a big plate of haggis, you know. But I tell you what, let's jump to the professor again. Every time I say that,
it's best.
The professor, such a terrible name.
The professor.
Deep fry it, we'll eat it. We don't give a shit what it is, as long as deep fry, we'll eat it.
The professor. What's your thoughts?
Welcome, and now we go to the professor to find out what his thoughts are.
He goes to the professor. Everyone else, shut up.
Wait, I'm going to shut my pie hole. Go ahead, Professor.
That's all right. No problem.
Shut your hole full of haggis.
Which question am I answering?
What got you involved with the paranormal? What
got me involved in the paranormal?
Paranormal cherry.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Cherry, what the hell?
I think it was.
You gotta change that shirt.
How you get into the paranormal?
Yeah, I It was an experience with what I believe was a demon, actually.
Oh, wow.
And it was partly the reason that I started studying demonology. I woke up one night, I was about 13 or so, and I just was aware of this very heavy, oppressive presence in my room. And there was this awful feeling and smell and for once, it wasn't me at that point. And I looked up, and
dear.
this is. I
I
just
light a candle.
felt something looking back at me. There was something in the corner, and I was just aware of these eyes looking at me, and it terrified me.
Oh gosh.
But it terrified me in such a way that I wanted to know more about it to protect myself and my family. And it just spiraled from there. And I've been doing it for 20 years now. So
Wow.
yeah, that's what got me into the paranormal and demonic and this cool and crazy world.
That's cool.
We'll need to talk about the demonic, but first, Drew, what
Well,
got
me,
you
Drew,
into
me
the-
niece Drew, what got you in the paranormal, sweetheart?
Well, I always liked all the ghost hunting programs on the television and things, but it wasn't until I seen other people like me, like on YouTube, like doing ghost hunting, that I realised that everybody could do it, really. And then I bought the usual K2 meters and everything, they just wouldn't work. So started realising how to raise my vibration, lower my vibration, just playing about with it. And then my son-in-law died, and I just continued to their own, just seeking answers and try to speak to him. Really was the deep root keeping turning the box on was what kept me going. Try to hear his voice, but just basically try to connect to my loved ones that had just died. My cousin and things had just died a couple of months before it as well, so it was just all happened around about the one time. And then I just decided to try and get answers for myself. So it's just really been like that.
Yeah.
Seeking answers to talk to past loved ones, really.
Okay. Oh, Tony, what is haggis? Oh, well, that's sheep liver, sheep heart, and sheep lungs ground up really, really fine and put into a big pot. And then from there, you put in some brie, and then you got to put a bunch of oatmeal, and you mix it all together, and you stick it in a sheep's gut, in with a hot dog or a sausage, right?
Wow, that's
Make a
profound.
giant
It's
hot dog.
nice. It's
You make a
nice.
giant hot dog, right? And then you can
Nice.
bake it, which I wouldn't suggest. But you got to boil it first for a while.
Oh my.
It's going to swell up,
Okay.
and you boil it for a while. And then you can bake it and fry it or whatever. But me, I like it deep fried. That way it tastes the best.
Aye.
Then you cut it,
Aye.
just take a spoon, and away you go. That's it.
That is what I actually had some the other day.
But that's what it is.
It's
It's
a,
good for you.
it's a Scottish delicacy, I would say. I love haggis.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's good. We're not going to talk about blood pie though. But anyway,
So,
Oh,
Dan,
like
what got you?
yesterday. I'd like to yesterday.
me.
So, Dan, what got you into the paranormal? I know this is a stupid question.
That's a very tough question. Because when I was born into the paranormal. Simple as.
Right.
I didn't know it really was considered paranormal. I had all these friends that nobody could see, and I got to wear a love me jacket once in a while. Yeah. So I've always been part of the paranormal, but people go on and on about ghosts, and I think, what the hell? They say, oh, your house is haunted. Danny, your house is haunted. Oh shit! I've been here for 700 years and I ain't seen no bloody ghost. What the hell are they talking about?
There's another question by a Scottish Outlander. He's full of questions. That's cool.
Has anyone ever encountered a norm? Let's see. Was it, I thought had above my head one night shined this gold orange colour, and it shot out into the sky. It was close above my head, and always wondered about orbs. Well, you're in the perfect place here, Scottish Outlooker. We're surrounded. We're empty.
We got
Please
plenty of
answer that.
people. All right.
Who would like to
Well,
go first?
gold.
Who needs to take this one?
Gold can be a sign of a higher power, like somebody that looks over you, so like an angel or a guide. as for encounters with orbs, yeah, I've had plenty of them. There has been one that was in the form of a fairy that went above my head when Chris was present on my stream,
That's
and
right.
it was
I remember
seen.
that.
And I've had quite a lot of encounters with them. Also, if you watch my channel, there's quite a few of them that fly around me very often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But normally gold, the orange is normally a spiritual, like a spiritual higher divine power.
Yeah, or a family member.
Or a
That's
family, yeah,
Yeah,
family.
one or
as
the other.
well.
And like for me, I believe in orbs too. You know, I just think it's basically it from my experience, whatever it's worth. Orbs are what the spirits use. It's like a vessel. It's not really a spirit per se. It's a spirit inside of a vessel, like you would get into a car. Okay. So the orbs, they zip up and down the ley lines. They zip up and down the timelines. Okay. And when they get to their destination, they'll pop out. And that's when we see them because they'll still have and be producing their own energy from zooming up and down the timeline or the ley lines. Right.
Mhm.
So they will produce their own light, they'll produce their own energy, and they will have intelligent movement and stuff. A lot of times I think we see orbs is because some of our family members are just trying to say, hey, look, we're watching you. We're still here. Smarten the hell up or I'm going to boot you upside. Yes. And that's what I think, you know.
The start of a manifestation as well.
Oh, yes.
So
Yeah,
the energy
that's how
that's
they start. That's how
manifesting
they
and
get there.
becoming bigger.
Yeah, in my opinion, that's how they get to where they're going. And then from there, they can come out of the, or just like you get out of a car, right? But first your foot has to come out, and then your leg comes out. Well, same with the orbs. First they start to manifest that way. They come out of the orb, right? The orb is basically their car, as far as I'm concerned.
That's actually, I never thought about it that way, but that's.
It explains it perfectly, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah. That's
Mhm.
that's absolutely amazing. That is. But I'll ask Luna, Eclipse Luna, how did you get into the paranormal? How did it all happen for you?
Oh, I could answer that. She shot her first husband, and after she shot her husband,
Came back around and said, what was that for, you
he
bitch?
still kept showing up on the couch asking for beer. So she shot him. And then after that, she never saw him no more. And that's how she got into it. No, okay, I'm sorry, Mary. Go ahead. You tell it your way.
Actually,
No.
I started when I was 5 years old. So basically, I guess I was pretty much born into it. I started seeing things that nobody's seen, just me, you know, and I didn't tell anybody. I grew up not ever telling anybody until I was grown. I was 43 years old before I ever told anybody what I could see or what I knew, or I just knew things that other people didn't know. So it's went on from there.
Mhm.
I just finally let it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a question there for the
I see
professor.
it.
Oh, yes.
Is it? Yep, there you go.
Question
for
for
the
the professor. Do you believe that there are dark non-human spirits that exist that are not demons? Or do you believe in class at them all as demons?
Wow, that was impressive.
That's a good one.
That's a nice question. Yeah.
Good question.
I think it's extremely rare to actually encounter a demon. Demonologists can go their entire life without actually seeing one. You're more likely to encounter a negative spirit, pissed off poltergeist, or some form of negative entity that just wants to be left alone. Usually, most human spirits are human spirits. They are that. There's nothing demonic about them. I wouldn't class them as demonic. I would just say they want to be left alone, and they'll do anything to achieve that. And that's pretty much demons. They take so much power to manifest. It's rarer than hen's teeth to encounter one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so glad you put it like that.
Great answer. If I may add to that a little bit,
Of course, please. Yeah.
That was a brilliant answer, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, in my just from doing what I've done, right? Now I've had over, I don't know, 4 titles in some cases. I don't bloody well know. I don't really care. Anyway, in all the cases that I've had, I have not come across too many demons. Now think about this. I think I've come across 4, maybe 5 demons in the 50 years that I've been doing this. Okay, so they're not as common as people like to make them out to be. All right. I've had to do, for sure, I've had to do 4 exorcisms from demons. All right.
Yeah.
Which is very, very. It's a very hard thing to do. However, there is something, in my opinion. Demons are nasty. They're very powerful. They're very strong. But with demons, at least you know what they're going to do. Okay, because all demons are controlled by a bigger demon. So they've got a mission. They got to go from point A to point B. This is what they want. This is what they're going to do. And normally they don't affect a singular person because they like big scale, grand scale. If they could take over an entire hotel, drive everybody nuts, and everybody jump out the window, get suicide, that's more what they do, right?
Yeah.
They don't normally go after a single individual unless that person was stupid enough to really piss one off personally. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I have.
But there is another thing called twisted humans. All right.
Yeah.
Now, twisted humans, in my opinion, are the meanest, scariest bastards out there. Okay. And basically, what it is, it's a human spirit that's died. It's been dead so long. It's never been given a voice. It's never been given forgiveness. It's never had a chance to tell its story. And it gets more and more angry all the time. Right? And before you know it, he's just so twisted and so dark and so evil. Okay? The problem with them is they are still human. So they still have freedom of choice, freedom of movement, freedom to ideas. They still have greed. They still want to get bigger and badder. So they've got all these emotions of humans still, which makes them so unpredictable. So when you're trying to remove one of them from a person, okay, and I've had plenty of them versus the demons. I've had like 15 or 16 exorcisms of a twisted human, and they were 10 times worse than any demon I've ever dealt with. Okay, because they let you think. They say, "Oh, I'm going from point A to point B." And that's what you think they're going to do. And all of a sudden, they're gone to point D or C or F or G. They just bugger off.
Oh, yeah.
Because they still have freedom of choice. They're not being controlled which way to go, what way to go, right? So twisted human, in my opinion, though in some ways they're not as strong as a demon, they make up for it in the fact that they're not controlled. They do what they want to do. And they're very, very powerful in themselves, right? And then you got your spirits, your human spirits, which are just people, you know, and they're just people spirits. They're not twisted. They're not demons. They're not bad. You know, I mean, like if the guy was a jackass while he was alive, guess what? He's probably going to be a jackass when he's dead. If the guy was a nice guy when he's alive,
I answered his question.
He's going to be a nice guy when he's dead, right? So that's my theory on it. And I agree with you, Professor. That was a good answer.
As was that. Thank you for adding.
Nat, do you have a question?
Yeah, but I forgot.
Oh. I was wanting to came with it once because you went to see it, and then you went.
No. It was something about it was for AJ, but I can't remember what it was. How can you tell?
She does.
What?
I don't know much about Nat.
Did you want me to tell you what your question was, Nat?
Oh, okay.
Nat wanted to know is how can you tell if a bad spirit is actually a demon or just a bad person?
Yeah. How do you tell that? Because a demon, right, is non-human.
Yeah.
Okay. But a bad spirit is obviously human, and it was, I guess, created as a human.
Bad spirit isn't always necessarily human. This is there are different levels of spirit. I mean, you have things like strigoi in Eastern European folklore, and they're kind of like a bestial vampiric thing, but they were human. They turned into this. They like evolved into these things. and they die like humans, and they become these malign sort of spirits that just like to they just kill and maim. So you've got these things to take into consideration. A demon, from my perspective, it will always announce itself without actually giving you a.
They won't give you a name, right?
No, I mean it's a common misconception that
Okay.
knowing its name will enable you to have power over it. In some extent, that's correct.
Right.
Because you know what to look for to
Mhm.
in previous cases which have got rid of it.
My dad's here, so I'm gonna mute and shut off my cam, and I'll come back if you're still on.
No problem.
Sounds good, brother.
Okay.
Danny, no problem.
Yeah. So demons are they're extremely prideful. They want you to know that they are screwing with you. They want you to know that they are pulling the strings, and they want you to. They feed off of the emotion. Basically, what they do is they will create the most severe emotional reaction that they can. Again, this is only my opinion, and they will feed off of that.
Right.
So, as as they grow the audience, the more energy they get, the more they feed, the more they intensify that feeling. And you'll notice patterns like that. It won't just necessarily be the one. It may start off as one or two people in a connected sort of series, but it will tend to evolve into groups of people as it becomes more powerful. Human spirits will tend to be more personal. They will tend to target one individual because of their proximity to that individual, or they have, I hate to use the term, unfinished business with that person. They have a vendetta. You usually find that in murder cases or violent deaths of some sort. And that's just some ways to tell the difference. I mean, no one truly knows because demons are so rare.
Right. And thank you, Shrimp Shack, for that comment. This is a top class panel.
Well, yeah.
I've had that with demonic. I have come into contact with a demonic and was attacked very badly, and it resulted in me getting blood poisoning and nearly dying, and having to go to hospital because of it. It took several months of this thing eating away at me and toying with me. With a human spirit, they're not going to do that. They'll mess around with you. They'll toy with you. They'll let you know they're there. But a demonic spirit's there to do one thing, and that's end you. Okay, and my way of being able to tell the difference between if they're demonic or not is that a demonic spirit does not have a soul of the earth. Okay, so when you see him, he's darkness. There is weird smells that come from him, like fire, sulfur, rotten flesh. Where with a human spirit, despite if it shows itself as being demonic or being bad, there is a light of its soul still that you can see above it. So you can tell that they are different.
Gotcha.
I would just, before I get to Drew, I would like to welcome Derek from Iron City Paranormal. Welcome, my friend.
Hey.
Thanks for having me. Hello. Stream tonight. Drew, you wanted to ask a question? You wanted to say something?
I was going to ask Natalie. I've seen Natalie in a few streams, but I'm not really sure what you kind of do, Natalie, if you don't mind me asking.
So wait, what's the question?
Just what you kind of do, whether it's Bigfoot, paranormal, that type of thing.
So I don't know. I've kind of talked to Dakota about this. I think I'm more of a clairvoyant and a sensitive. However, right now I am extremely vulnerable and I'm dealing with a lot of health issues. So I'm not going to put myself in a bad situation when I already know I'm vulnerable, because I really don't know what can come through, what's going on, or anything like that. However, I can see them. Nobody else will be able to see them, but I will be like, for instance, I'll be tracking a little boy throughout the room, and first of all, I don't know. Nobody knows what I'm tracking, and I'm looking from here to there to over here to there, and I know he's there. Sometimes I can hear them, but I won't converse with them. So I don't. Right there, I think that makes me not a medium. Maybe because I can hear them, maybe because I can see them, but I'm not going to talk to them. I'm not going to talk to them. I'll tell you that they're there. I'll tell you what they're saying if they are saying something, but I'm not going to talk to them just because I don't want to talk to the dead.
I think after you get after your health issues and things, you might start talking to them just gently, ease in on it.
Maybe. I mean, I have done so before, and that was when I was in high school. Because again, a lot of this stuff was okay in high school, it was okay when I was a little kid, but man, it really ramped up when I was in my 30s. Mm-hmm. And I had a whole bunch of stuff happen to me in high school. I woke up one day, I was on the ceiling looking at myself, so it was an outer body experience. And this is going to like haunted places and just meddling around with stuff at the same time. So is that Paranormal Playground? Is she coming on?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind. No.
No, that's Dan. That's Dan from Iron City Paranormal.
Okay.
I don't think we want to tell Corey you thought she was a guy.
No, I'm sorry. No, she said that she might drop in. She doesn't know though. Anyway,
well, we have too many spots filled, so no.
So anyway, I've had that experience, and then the walls kind of started dripping, and it looked like blood. And then and then I think what made me really stop was I woke up with a hacked up girl in my bed, and I thought it was a dream.
Obviously.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It was. I'm like, all right, you know what?
Just
I'm
to
done.
clarify when this goes out.
How you doing?
Yeah. I woke up and I was like, oh, okay, let's not do that. Yep. And then I kind of stopped. Yeah, I stopped from there. And then in my 30s, like I said, it ramped up. It ramped up big time. But that's okay. I mean, a little bit more discipline now than I was in high school.
Do you think maybe your health issues have got something to do with the spirit being so close to you then? Maybe.
Now you sound like my mom.
Well, something will come back up. She closed herself off is what it was. And whenever she, in her 30s, to something, either you have something like some kind of trauma in your life or a bad experience or a good experience, something in that, something woke her back up to it.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, to be honest with you. Maybe when I was searching for a house with my now husband, we would walk into houses and I would just say, no, what happened here? What's going on? And the realtor's like, well, we can't disclose anything, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, there's something happened here. What happened here? You know, so I'm like, no. So I think we went through like 25 houses, maybe, before we said, you know, this is the one, because I can't
Started feeling the negative energy first.
Yeah.
So do you just bubble yourself and things now? Do you know how to bubble yourself just to protect yourself from these? Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, I do. Believe me.
Thank you for answering my question. I've just always been curious. Thank you.
I would just like to welcome Dan from Iron City Paranormal too. Hey guys, how are yous?
Hi.
Wonderful, Chris. How you doing?
Oh, brilliant, man. Halloween's Eve and stuff. We're taking questions, so feel free to answer some of the questions. There's actually a question in the chat. Is that from Night Sky Paranormal? When investigating, you have your own personal ways of protecting, grounding yourselves? I tell you what, we'll let Iron City Paranormal take this one off so that you hear first.
Yes.
Thank you, Warrior Queen, for that. By the way, I see that comment. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway,
so
continue on.
Yeah, so I know that when we do investigations, we purposely don't mess with things that could, be negative, because we are not trained in protecting ourselves, maybe like we should be to get into some of this stuff. I know when we do investigations, if there are negative things, we tend to stay away from them. And if we have to get into it, we will tread very lightly with it. We are not religious people. We don't fall back on religion just because we don't we don't go to church every week. I don't know. We don't want to be like the people that go to church on Christmas and Easter. That's not us. So like I said, we try to respect things like that just because they could lead to something that we don't want. I know, Derek, I know that we personally tried. I know we've avoided things purely because of that.
We have, but we've also kind of protected ourselves using things like crystals. I've had some of my personal belongings, things that were passed down to me. I'll bring, like my grandfather's one of his medals. I'll bring with us every time. It was blessed. It was saged, and anything that's personal like that. It's more of a belief system than anything, and those are the kind of things. They're small items, things that we can keep on ourselves as we go through these places.
I think it's important to feel protected, like to feel that you have something in your corner. Whether it be crystals. You are right. We do use crystals, like your personal belongings. I think that it's very dangerous to go in feeling like you're alone and vulnerable.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think too. It also has to deal with your mind. You have to be very, very disciplined in your mind, because you're not dealing with something a doctor can fix, is what I was telling Dakota as well. Me and him were having chats. You're dealing with something that's much greater than all of us. So if you're going to be scared, if you're going to be fearful, if you're going to be vulnerable, probably shouldn't be going into that.
I completely agree with that. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
Lunar eclipse, would you like to add?
On what? On protection, you mean, or grounding yourself?
No, protecting.
I feel you don't have to be religious to ground yourself or to protect yourself. Some people say prayers before they investigate, and they close it out when they leave. And you can use crystals. You can use. There's a lot of things. There's hematite. There's obsidian, there's amethyst. All of those are very good for that. Clear crystal too. I'm sure Sherry can add more than that, but I'm just off the top of my head. And there's and if you clean your equipment, like if you sage your equipment afterwards and after an investigation, is really good. It keeps it from bringing any energy home with you. Because, energy's energy, whether it's through your equipment, whether it's through you, keeping it clean and stuff is really good. I mean, there's several ways of doing it without getting into religion. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sherry, Drew, would you like to add something?
I agree. You don't need to have a religion to be able to be spiritually protected. If you've got the power and the belief within your own protection of yourself and your soul, then you can protect yourself either way that you do it. Obviously, I go which way, so I have all my different little witchy bits that have been blessed and cleansed. I do a lot of meditation, stonework. You take different tools like things such as like crystals, like what Mary said, and I'll take things like sandalwood, and I'll take sages, anointing oils and blessing oils to put on your equipment before and after your investigations. Salt baths and spiritual baths and things like that are really good as well. Other things such as things like you've got hematite. You've got tourmaline, the black onyx. You can do different incense sticks as well. You don't necessarily, if you can't get hold of sage, which is quite easy to get hold of sage, you can get them in the prospects of incense sticks. So you can use different things like that. Dragon's blood is another good one. Just basically, you don't need to be spiritual to be able to protect yourself. As long as you have your salt baths and you do your prayers before and after, you anoint your equipment, you believe that you can remove something, then you can do it, because the true power and strength is in you. We're all meant to be spiritual beings, so we're all capable of being able to protect ourselves if we have to.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think it's mindset.
I'm still here.
Mindset too.
I'm still here listening, guys, and I agree with everything so far. The truth of the matter is, it's your own belief and your own faith that gives you the strength to do the things you do. So if you believe in what you're doing,
Right.
Moving yourself.
One coal, sandalwood, red brick. There's lots of different things you can use.
I've
So-
got my ghost hunt kit here, my protection kit. In my protection kit, I've got Himalayan salt, I've got palo wood oil, I've got my goddess oil, and Santa Murta oil, which is actually female death herself. I've got blessed. It's like wee things out the Vatican. They're just wee blessed metals. And
They're like little spiritual coins, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Palo wood, and that's just in case if there is anything there that I feel I can't clear with just bubbling myself and my prayers, then that's just like kind of big guns that can help, like put so anointing that way. I have hers with me myself, have hers with me, like the sage or like the palo wood if it's a wee bit more serious a spirit.
I have one more question too after she's done. Sorry.
But that's just that type of thing. That's just something I carry with me in my ghost hunting bag for anything that maybe my prayers have no worked for, or the bubbling everybody has no worked for. That's just in case I need to protect us before we need to go home. So just really palo wood's the most one I use. I kind of typically, if I feel maybe there's been something negative there, I'll kind of put a bit of palo wood on us all before we kind of go back in the car.
Yeah.
And do my prayers. But that's what I keep as a standard in my wee.
Very good.
Ghost hunting bag.
That would you like to go?
So it's from Paranormal Playground. And since I've actually become very close with her, she's actually said that she has a protector. And who was it that said that they had a protector here?
I do.
Yes. Okay, so she said she has a protector named Lamarck, I believe. And it's possible, what is she saying? Oh, I don't know what she's saying. I've never encountered that. No, her protector, like Lamarck, which is a possible, I don't know what he is, but he's always around her. And he said that things will never be able to get close to her. So is that kind of like what yours is?
We all have
the things is that there's different sorts of spiritual protectors. So you've got your spiritual protectors that are given to everybody when you're born. We've all got spiritual protectors and angels and things that look after us. I have been given mine directly through a witch descendant, because of what my mum had done. So if he is connected to you in that way, yes, he will not let energy next to you that is not good for you and he knows isn't good for you. He won't let that around you at all. It will make sure that you're protected. Obviously, with other energies, if he does let them near you, because if you think about it, they have to help you to learn for your ways, They can't step into everything that you do. They can only do certain things. But when it comes to protecting you from danger and from something that isn't to be within contact with you, they will step in the way of that. But you've got a life's purpose and a way of learning and knowing. And sometimes they have to step back to let you learn certain things.
Okay. Yeah, and then she did confirm it is Lamarck. And she's actually said that on her YouTube.
He's not as powerful as the spirit that was trying to get near them.
Oh, yeah. It could easily just be a case where they realize you need to get the hell out now. And as far as why this individual attached itself to you, there are actually some cases where protector spirits are actually ancestral in nature. They may, the person may not realize it, but there's actually a bit of a family bond. That's why they look after you. That's why you have some cases where protector spirits seem to move down the line.
But
well,
it might not be somebody that it could be somebody that's really possessive of you. He's not going to let you communicate with any other spirit. They're just going to not even let your loved ones and things in. I would be very careful. Where did you find the name out from? What is Lamarck? Is he a spirit? Is he a
Paranormal Playground? How did you find out his name? He told you his name, right?
What is he? Is he a spirit? Is he an element?
If he's doing it to a possession sort of case where he's not letting anything come near you, then he may not be what he's betraying to you that he is. He may be something else. Normally, with a spiritual protector, to a certain extent, they would not stop communication with your loved ones and stuff.
There it
They
is.
wouldn't do that. So that sounds a bit iffy to me.
From a lady entity.
Right.
I don't know if I've heard that name.
That lady was kind of a bitch.
I don't know what the question. Sorry.
I've heard that name Lamar before. I don't know where I've heard it from, but I've heard that name from somewhere. I just don't
You
know where I've
have.
heard it from. I'll need to research this.
Yeah, I know of Lamarck, but
So Dakota, would you like to ask the panel a question?
I don't know. We've been into so much. All right, here's one. What would you say would be your most unique experience?
I've got one.
I'll need to think about that. So go to Nat first.
Anyone wants to jump in? Feel free.
I think that my most unique experience was with the demonic that was in the house when I was attacked. I think that woke me up in a lot of ways, and it made me question my society in the paranormal. I was actually going to give it up because of how ill and how badly I was attacked, but through thinking and having my spiritual energies around me saying, Sherry, this was your faith, this was your path, this is what you're supposed to do. I took a lot of thinking and I decided to stay in it, and it's just made me want to understand both sides more. I don't say that I like to associate with the dark side, but if you're an investigator, you've got to be prepared to use both sides and be with both sides. So you do need to have an understanding of both.
Yeah, and she also just said too, he told me his name Clear, and then when she was investigating a cemetery that was known for evil. But
I would be very careful. To me, he doesn't sound like he's a protector. He sounds like he's something that's just trying to attach himself and win your trust.
Is that where she picked him up from? Was a cemetery?
Dodgy.
Is that where what?
No, talk to you.
Is where do you think she picked him up, Faith? Where was?
What if I'm going to murder him? I'll go after him.
Well, if she says that his name come through, and then she was at a church when she first heard it, I think that he's probably come from the church place. That's not very nice, and that he's just portraying himself as being in something that's going to protect her when really he's trying to get close for another reason. And I'm not saying specifically that he's demonic, but maybe he's just not of a nice energy and something you should be trusting. I'd be careful.
I don't.
He just seems to be very protective, very quick.
Yeah, it does look. That does sound familiar. Mark.
Yeah. What does anybody? Why does this sound familiar to everybody? This is weird.
I don't know. It just rings a bell.
Can I ask you something, Paranormal Playground? How do you know that the entities that were coming near you were evil that he was trying to protect you from? How do you know that wasn't him trying to make you think they were evil? Just so you didn't communicate with any other spirit but him.
Yes, I'll bring that up.
I'd have a lot of questions.
But he knows now and again I can feel his energy, and it's all the same on. But first night is a bad one. I could feel him always protecting me, but then he backs off. I was going to actually ask.
I'm an empath and felt the evil. Yeah, she's a big empath, and almost
I'd be very careful.
I was going to ask the professor because he's a demonologist and that. Have you ever been a demon with that name?
If you could come back to me on that.
They're not going to always tell you their name anyway, straight away.
No, of course they're not. No.
Tell you their real name.
But
no, that's not going to be his real name. That's just going to be something that he's told her.
No, demons are a lot more honest than a lot of people realize.
They are. They will give you their name.
They are quite straightforward.
A riddle. In a roundabout way, they will tell you who they are.
Drew, from my experience, it kind of goes like human beings, right? If a spirit seems narcissistic, like it needs to control everything, control you, control what spirits you talk to, it's not a good spirit. It's a badass, right? Any good spirit is going to allow you to learn, to grow, and teach you in a loving manner. If it seems to try to be dominant and control everything, it's a bad spirit.
Yeah.
My opinion only, of course, not written in stone, and not necessarily the views of the people that own this channel.
Yeah.
So I think we've got how long we got? We've got about 20.
We got about another
left.
20 minutes.
We've got 20 minutes, and we've got a special trailer which Dakota will tell you about in a little while. Here's a one for you saying it's Halloween and that. What do you think of black-eyed kids? That's for everybody.
What do I think of black cats?
Black-eyed
kids.
Black-eyed cats.
What do you think they are? Where do you think they're from? What do you think they are?
Well,
I'll say Iron City first. What do you think they are?
Are you saying black-eyed kids or black-eyed?
Nope.
Black-eyed kids.
Kids. Okay, that was.
I thought you were saying cats.
It was up in the air, right? The black-eyed children that I have seen, and I've only had some experiences with maybe 2 of them in my life. They seem like they're the ones that I've interacted with. At least they look like they seem to be soulless individuals,
like spawns of Satan, maybe.
Maybe so. I mean, like I said, the ones that I have, they were younger children. They were acquaintances of our family that had kids, 1 or 2 kids that had black eyes. And they came across as being these kids that you couldn't trust and that you really didn't want to, have. I don't want to say turn your back on them because they're children, but it almost seemed like that. It looked like they just lacked a soul or any kind of empathy, which is always concerning to me whenever people come off as being, having a lack of empathy. That is very concerning to me. And that's always been my take on it. So whether they're spawns of Satan or like demon children, very possible.
Yeah.
It would kind of fit the mold. But I will tell you that they're scary as hell when you see them.
I bet they are.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Like, you know what? You need to no. Bye.
I think we should do an investigation. That you go and if you ever see them, go up to them and see what they're all about.
Well, I know one lives across.
Well, I've always wanted to try to lure them out. So.
Yeah, right. I think if you turn around and say their name 3 times, they come out. Yeah, I think that's how you get them to show up.
No, there's specific frequencies that someone managed to find. He's on YouTube that seem to appear whenever the black-eyed kids show up. It's a very similar concept to some of the tones that show up when you have UFOs. Right. It's very faint. You kind of have to do a little bit of audio enhancement, but someone has managed to figure out how to isolate these tones, play them back, and the black-eyed kids start showing up. I want to recreate that.
That's really neat. Get a large group of people and recreate that because I don't know if I want to be.
I'll stay in the car.
If I manage to get down Nottingham Way in November, early December, we'll go to what you call Cannock Chase and see if we can catch a black-eyed kid, right?
Should.
If they're well known for something.
I've had it where there was one situation in an investigation where they were seeing a child on a regular basis and had black eyes. There are ways of being able to tell. If you put a egg into water and it should sink, being fully open, closed. But if it goes to the top, then it's a sign of a black-eyed child.
Right.
When you go around them, like the gentleman at the bottom, that they are soulless beings. Okay, they've got the most darkest eyes. You cannot see into their soul. You cannot see what they're thinking or what they're feeling. They're not there for good reason. They will normally come in pairs or more. They don't normally come on their own. When they turn up, that the most known things for them to do is either knock on your door or knock on your car door. They're trying to get you to let them in. You have to let them in first before they can actually enter your home.
So are these vampires or children?
Well, how do we know they're genuinely evil? They're just not polite. There's a lot of people that can learn from them.
Black-eyed children can be dangerous and they can be very difficult to get rid of. My pup's next to me probably is quite good to explain to you a bit about black-eyed children.
You awake, old man?
You awake? No, he's not there.
Oh, he's gone.
He'll be drinking his coffee. Yeah, I think they're just typically known as entities right now, isn't it? Most research gets done.
Okay. From my experience, black-eyed children are level 3 demon. There's 7 levels to demons. The black-eyed children are level 3 demon. And basically, if you consider them along the same line as an imp or a rampa or a repit, they're along that line, okay? And basically what they do is they get it. They try to trick you into accepting them into your family, into your house, and everything like that. Once they have a foothold into your house, that's when they call their big brothers to come and invade your house. So they're basically door knockers. They come in, open the pathway, and once that portal's open into your house, anything can come.
Yeah.
And that's what their job is. Okay, I'm gone. Forget it. I'm still here.
And Drew,
Sherwood Forest.
Oh,
Volcanic
God,
trees.
Drew, did Paranormal Playground had some stuff for you on there on the chat that she wanted
Right.
you to see because there's a bunch of kids running around the inn that she was just at and stuff like that she didn't know. So, I mean, I don't know if that would be your guys' expertise.
Say what now?
Yeah.
You got
Lamar's the vampire?
Around a hotel.
Now you have my interest.
Paranormal Playground. I think we should have a chat with you, actually.
There
What?
could be normal
I think
children
we
there,
should
but
have
you
a
can normally
chat.
tell the difference between a black-eyed child and a normal spirit because black-eyed children never appear as anything else. They've always got the darkest black eyes ever, and they're very pale-skinned. They don't look normal. They would never normally directly look at your face until they actually want eye contact with you and they want to pull you in. That's when
Holy
they
crap,
start.
I dated a black-eyed kid.
We were
What the hell?
hanging in a tree and
Yeah, this is the inn that she was staying
I'm not a
at.
black-eyed child. It probably looks like I've got black eyes. I am.
Paranormal Playground. I think we'll have a wee chat. You can get me on Facebook on Drew's
Need to get
Paranormal.
Paranormal
Right.
Playground on one night.
Or
Yeah, we do.
I know. Well, if she wasn't so
Videos.
sick, she's so sick. But yeah, he's a vampire
Look at that.
apparently.
Lamarcus a vampire. He said Dogwood Cemetery, both video are on the chat.
I think I knew that. Paranormal
I-
Playground. We'll have a wee chat.
Have her
Definitely.
reach out. Do it now.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I
research.
think
I'm
you
going to
better.
research
Quicker
that.
the better.
Dude, she's another one. She's good too.
What are you thinking, Professor?
Ooh. Professor,
What
what's
are you
your thoughts?
thinking?
What am I thinking?
Yep.
On black-eyed children.
Yeah.
I know on what Paranormal Playground's been saying.
But
You
she's
feel
got
it's
a
maybe
very
something
compassionate.
a bit more unholy, let's say.
Yeah, she's got a lot of stuff that somebody
There's-
just wants to read one or read all of
I
it.
know you've got a lot going on now, right enough, but I think maybe a couple should have a wee chat with her.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think.
I think more
I'll come over and
information's
have a look at
needed,
your channel as
to
well.
be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
My
can pick
interest
up
is
a lot in
piqued, but I
videos. I've done it
definitely
with
like to
Dakota
see
the other
this.
day
Yeah.
when he was on a show. I see something from Dakota's house, so I do pick up on things by looking into videos. So I see if I can see what's going on as well.
Okay. Yeah, she said that she wants to know everybody's opinions.
Yeah, that's cool.
Could you
Yeah.
post a link to your channel for us so that we can
It's
all
definitely
subscribe?
a bit. It's a lot tonight. There's a lot of questions we would have to ask and things. So,
Well, Night
Thank
Sky
you.
had a question in between Paranormal Playground. Did anybody see that?
What?
That-
It says, do you believe life after death is just one piece of the puzzle, and we are also dealing with different dimensions, interdimensional?
Oh yeah.
There's loads of
God.
different dimensions. Believe me, there
Yeah.
not just us. There is definitely alien. I've had an experience with a UFO, so I know that there's aliens. I wasn't so sure when I was younger until my uncle kept talking to me about it, and then I had an experience when I was with a friend. So there are definitely other dimensions.
I can tell you something. We're not alone in this universe. I can tell you that. me and Dakota have been having things with us, and it's.
Oh, my opinion is,
Really, I had two kids
I've
with
had
me.
them two,
So,
Dakota and Chris, with
How could you
UFOs and experiences, big time. Them two,
Yeah.
definitely.
Things happen with us. People speak through him, and people speak through me, but I don't know who they are. But
I've had a
I
crash
don't know
show
who
up
they
just 3 nights ago that was showing up bright orange lights, and the second I realized I saw it, it was gone. I was like, fuckers.
Yeah, it's
I swear they're messing with me.
that's it's what says Dogwood Cemetery is where Landmark appeared. I've heard that. I've seen videos about that.
What is
About
up
that
with you
vampire.
guys? I have never heard of any of this stuff besides Playground who's been telling me all this.
The name's definitely familiar. I just wasn't.
Oh
sure
my
whether I'd
God.
heard
I'm
it.
like, I feel like the odd
Cemetery,
man
that
out
does
right
sound
now.
familiar. I was thinking
Good
of video
Lord.
games today.
Yeah, it's like I've heard that somewhere
Aw,
before about the
thank
vampire.
you, Playground. I want to keep in touch with all of you. You're gonna keep in touch with me. You're stuck with me, so
Yeah, she can be quite annoying. She's been blowing up my phone all day.
she's amazing. Don't listen to him. Playground. Dakota's just being Dakota.
That's why
So
these sort of shows are really good to do, aren't it? Really, because other people can get to know the whole panel, and people can put their own views and stuff across.
Well,
So
everybody's getting
you
to
learn
meet.
a lot.
Everybody's getting to meet, and they can all go and subscribe
Yeah.
to each channel. You know what I'm saying? It's a big
Mhm.
community.
Even Night Sky knows the name. What the hell is happening?
Why do I feel like it was on a program?
That's what they're saying. It must be a paranormal thing because we've all heard of it.
All right, then apparently I should just go.
No, it's like I feel like I heard the name on a program or somewhere.
Yeah.
Aye. So Dakota, do you want to tell everybody about the 6th?
Yes.
A big special event.
So those of you who've been following us for quite some time know that there have been some very strange things going on with likely extraterrestrial connections. In fact, Sherry, there was an incident you were involved in back in February that we found may also be connected to ETs. So we have a panel trying to come together. We did have one canceled because she's dealing with COVID. So Lisa, if you hear this, if you feel better, you're still more than welcome to come on. And ever since we brought these people together, activity has only gotten more intense.
Yeah.
Well, the more people you have together that is more, it's like-minded and that has abilities and has that set of energy, it's going to be more intense.
Oh, it's extremely intense.
More like the ETs are personally coming to knock on our doors.
Yes.
I have no doubt about that. I mean, how could you not believe if we're here and we are energy? How could you not believe there's not something else out there? I mean, I do.
I do.
Yeah.
It just better not be on Halloween.
I've not
People
seen
come and
them,
knock
but
on the
I've seen
door.
Oh, we perfect time to talk about it.
The government's slowly coming out with it. Oh yeah,
They're-
there's aliens. Oh,
because
yeah,
they're
yeah,
losing
yeah.
control.
Yeah.
They're losing
I never see
control.
it being-
More's about to come out, and no one's going to know what's going on for how weird this thing's getting.
Yes.
Well, the government use psychics. They use people who have knowledge about all that. I mean,
Yeah, and they've also burned out a lot of people for how far those tests have gone. Trust me, I know.
I have no doubt about that too.
All right. So,
we've got a trailer here Dakota made
Mhm.
for the 6th of November.
Let's see if it'll come up. Get everybody on.
People of Earth, do not be afraid. We are here to help you.
We are representatives from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. For many years, you have seen us as lights in the sky. Long now, you've forgotten your place in this universe. But slowly we have aided your people from the clutches of dark forces that wish to enslave you.
You have heard our messages from our emissaries. Much was lost in the confusion in the enemy's desperate attempt to thwart our advances. But the time has come for you to hear the truth directly from us. Be strong. Raise your vibrations. The new age of terror is almost upon you.
We will never let you down.
All right.
Well done. I must say, I think Dakota deserves a clap for that.
Yes.
He's excellent. Dakota.
Yeah.
If you need him
He
to
does
make me a
awesome
trailer,
videos.
he's your man.
Well,
So that'll be on the 6th of November. We've got, who are they again, Dakota? Why don't you
We
tell us?
have Elena Denan.
Yep.
She wrote a couple books on the ET phenomenon. If you're interested in this type of research, seriously, get them. They give you a guidebook on different species that have been interacting with our worlds, the type of craft that they use, more experiences. There's even talks of alien blood types that certain people have, which something we're looking into a little bit further. But next week, always an interesting show. We're going to try to get a little bit more of a panel on, but unfortunately, the people we have on also had a really nasty tendency of messing up time zones because of him.
It's all because of
Just put
him.
GMT after that, just because I live in a different time zone. You know, I'm very sorry. I'll move to America.
Sorry.
There's an app on your phone that tells you what time it is in different countries.
Yes.
Yes.
See, there you go. But it's been a great night tonight, guys, and thank you for all coming. You know,
Thank you, guys.
and we'll need to get you all back again sometime.
Oh yes.
So we'll talk to you after the
Thank you for
backstage.
the invite.
And no problem, no problem. So catch you everybody, and take care and have a really good
Thanks,
Halloween.
guys. Thank you
And
for
don't let-
watching.